Hey everybody, it's Olivia with Freedom at the Mat. I hope you are wonderful today. So I am here today with another reading. I'm reading, of course, still from my favorite Neale Walsch, Meditations from Conversations with God. So I'm going to get right into it. Today we're talking about vision expansion. On his February 16th passage, he has this to say: "You're setting your sights too low. Broaden the scope of your horizons. Extend the depth of your vision. See more in you than you think there is to be seen." I'm going to repeat it one more time. You're setting your sights too low. Broaden the scope of your horizons. Extend the depth of your vision. And see more in you than there is to be seen. My friend, I don't know who's looking at this, when you're looking at this, and where you're looking at this. But what I know for sure is that no matter if you are a beautiful young woman in a rural village in India, or if you're in an apartment in the metropolis of Washington, D.C., or if you're in a second bedroom of a home that you're sharing with your sister or father or aunt or relative, you may be thinking that your life is small, because all you've had exposure to is this much. You may think, you know what, this is all I can do. What I've seen is these few blocks I've had exposure to. I've never traveled outside of the state, let alone travel outside of my city. People talk about global warming, global whatever. I can't get off my block. I have been sent here today by a much more divine spirit than myself to tell you that what you want for your life, it is possible. Even if you're in a situation that your close circle of friends and family have said it's not possible, you're setting your sights too low. You are only looking at what you can see. Right? So I'm only looking at this floor right now. Because if I'm only looking at the floor right now, guess what? I can't see in the distance. I can't see what's beyond. What happens if you get in a car, even if you have to rent it, or you get on a bus or train, or you use your own 2 feet, and you go beyond where you normally go to, and you see that there is infinite possibility available to you. I personally love to travel. And I do realize that travel is a luxury, and I'm grateful every time I get a chance to travel somewhere, especially outside of the country of USA. But what I find when I travel, every time I travel, is that there is so much more for me than I could have ever imagined. I am a beautiful brown girl from Memphis, Tennessee. I was raised in the 70s and the 80s by two parents who were lower middle class. My mother was a teacher. My father was a postal worker, whatever you do with that. And I somehow, with God's support and loving mother and father, and even if you don't have that, said, I want to go to school in Missouri. And somehow we made that happen. And then after Missouri, I said, I want to go live in Chicago. And that took a lot of faith because I didn't know anybody in Chicago. And then after Chicago, I said, I want to live in New York. And that took a lot of faith because I already had friends. I had a book club. I was doing well in Chicago. And I wanted to live in New York. And then I wanted to try Jersey. Then I came back to New York because Jersey wasn't the greatest, but anyways, and then I said, I don't know. New York is a lot. don't know what this looks like on a retirement plan. So I'm moving to New Orleans and I'm going to see what's there. But while I'm there, I'm going to travel. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to go to Africa. I'm going to go to Brazil. I don't know anybody there. Be very clear. Yoga wonderfully helps me. I go to yoga retreats all over and I meet new people and I put myself out there, because what I realized pretty early on from that first step out of Memphis into Missouri was that any limitations I was putting around myself, I was doing that because there was an entire country available to me with new people and new opportunities. And then when I went from Missouri to Chicago, it was like, wait a minute, there's even more. And so I won't belabor by repeating that story, but I share that with you today to say that it does require faith and a much more divine power than yourself when you make these moves. But if we look at what the author is saying, we're often setting our sights too low. The span of what we think is possible is too limited. And we need to create a greater depth for our vision, for our lives. Anything is possible, but you do have to believe it to be so. Try it, just a little pebble in your sea. Again, for me, that pebble was Memphis to Missouri. It was 6 hours away, right? Maybe for you, it's something else. But whatever it is, I invite you today to expand the horizons of your vision and to believe that there are truly infinite possibilities that await you if you only step into it. May God be with you. Namaste.